Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Bat Up with Ola once again. This is Mujela Olua and I'm super thrilled to be here once again. Today we want to talk about a very important topic or term in insurance law. We want to talk about Uberrima Fide. Uberrima Fide. So it's spelled as Uberrima Fide or Uberrima Fides. But you would generally just call it Uberrima Fide. And some people call it Uberrima Fides, anglicizing it, so to speak. You could check the dictionary for, the best pronunciation. I've known these terminologies since junior secondary school when I took a subject called business studies. I hope they're still doing it in Nigerian secondary schools. So that's where we learned it, Uberrima Fides. It means utmost good faith. Utmost good faith. It's a Latin term and that's the literal meaning. Utmost good faith. Uberrima Fides. And it generally just means, the highest standard of sincerity or honesty in a business dealing. What it means is that when entering into a contract, both parties are expected by law to disclose all material facts within their knowledge, within their private knowledge, which may influence the decision of the other party. So it's usually applicable in insurance contracts, but these days it can be applied to all sorts of contracts. It's an implied term, not an express term. We're going to talk about implied and express terms in the next episode. So one of those implied terms is Uberrima Fides or Uberrima Fides, and it means that when you're entering into a contract, you're expected to exercise utmost good faith and disclose all material facts within your knowledge that may, influence or affect inform the decision of the other party entering into that contract with you. So this concept or this term was established in the case of Carter and Boehm. I'm so happy we're discussing another judicial decision. I love precedents. So in Carter and Boehm, it was an insurance contract. It's a 1766 case. In that case, there was a fort called Fort Marlborough, built in Sumatra. It was a British fort. Sumatra is in Indonesia, by the way. So it was a British fort that was built largely to protect the occupants, the British, to protect them from invasion and attacks by natives, not necessarily by external forces. So the governor of the fort, Fort Marlborough at the time, was Carter. So this Mr. Carter then took out an insurance with Mr. Boehm to insure the fort. Now, while insuring the fort, he knew that the fort could not withstand an attack from external forces like European forces, and he knew that there was a tendency for the French to invade and take over the fort. But he did not disclose this to Mr. Boehm when taking out the insurance. So he took out the insurance and then the French attacked, the fort and took it. And then he claimed insurance. In insurance, you as the insured party, what you do is you take out a policy with an insurer and then you pay a premium upon which in the event of the contemplated contingency or problem, you come back to the insurer and then you claim for the loss or damage that you might have suffered. So you could take out a life assurance for a human being. You could take out other types of insurance for things, for cars, houses, businesses, storehouse, warehouses, whatnot. And that's what Mr. Carter, the governor of Fort Marlborough, did for the fort. So he claimed for the loss of the fort, and then the court held. Lord Mansfield was the one that laid down the principle of utmost good faith in this particular instance. He now said, although he held that Boehm ought to have, contemplated an invasion from the Europeans as well. So it wasn't as if it was a free ride. So he did not hold in favor of Boehm, but he then laid out this principle that when taking out an insurance contract or any other contract, the insured party, the party that is to be insured, should exercise utmost good faith so as to disclose all material facts within their private knowledge to the insurer, which may then affect the decision of the insurer to insure them or not to do this. How does this affect modern day insurance matters or other contracts? For instance, in a life assurance, if someone is a chain smoker or a drunk, they have a duty to disclose that. When you're taking out a life assurance, you have to fill medical forms, fill all sorts of forms. You should disclose those debilitating factors which may, increase the risk of the insurer, in your particular case. So you should disclose it. But thankfully, the law is moving, or the law has moved largely from that point in 1766, from expecting the insured party to be faithful, honest, and loyal, like the Nigerian national anthem, or is it our pledge now, to disclose, all material facts. So the law has shifted such that insurers now have a duty and now have the leeway to make their findings and to be certain on their own that this is a risk that they want to take, to apply different legal methods, to draw out the facts, to draw out, all the information that they need to make an informed decision whether to insure the party that wants to be insured with them or not. So that's the decision in Carter and Boehm, and that's how it's linked to Uberrima Fides. So essentially, not just in insurance contracts, in all sorts of contracts, the law expects impliedly that you would exercise utmost good faith in your dealings. So this is different from caveat emptor. We'll talk about that in another video. But essentially, what it means is that if you are in a contract for sale or a contract of sale, for instance, if you are a buyer, you should exercise utmost good faith, disclose all that you need to disclose. If you're a seller, disclose all that you need to disclose. If you want to, let me go back to insurance, insure a car, for instance, that has the likelihood of, that takes up, that has some peculiarities. Maybe you bought an accidented car, so it's been in an accident, so it probably is not in perfect condition, increasing the risk of damage or loss, which will now warrant you claiming in insurance. So when you're taking out that insurance policy, you have a duty to disclose such thing to the insurer so that they can decide on their own so much if they want to take that risk with you or not. Very important. It can be applied in different ways. Even in relationships, you have a duty to disclose to the other party. If you are coming together and you probably have, say, a life-threatening condition, medical condition, or you have maybe a recurrent health challenge or something, you should exercise utmost good faith by disclosing it to the other party. If you're coupling up with someone and you have a transferable disease, you should exercise utmost good faith, and disclose it to them and let them make an informed decision as to if they want to be coupled up with you or not. Also, if when you're probably taking your child to a school, for instance, you have a duty. There are some other terms and other concepts that cover some of these things. I'm just extending the application, in informal settings. You have a duty to disclose. A landlord giving out his property has a duty to disclose. Oh, this house is probably bee infested. They come at this time of the year, or some insects or animals come at this time of the year, or so thing happens when it's raining, the house gets flooded. I rented an apartment once in Aja, after Aja Shangotedu, and we were told by people that had lived in the house before. We met an old tenant, so she told us that during the rains the house floods. There was a year it flooded our apartment, all our certificates and everything was gone. So if the landlord had exercised good faith with us, he would have informed us of that so that we will make an informed decision. I know this and I still want to rent it, or I'm not renting it. So you can apply utmost good faith to all aspects of life, but what it means is basically disclosing all material facts within your private knowledge to the other party so that they make an informed decision to enter into a contract with you or not. That is what we call Uberrima Fides. I will see you in my very next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell someone about Bar Talk with Ola, and you will not regret doing so. check the description box for all the goodies that I have for you. To-dos.